of Gene Shepard, discoverer, capturer of the very first Hodag, who laid the foundation for all this wonderful Hodag history and heritage and culture that we have here in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, the home of the Hodag. This gentleman, Jerry Shidell, has invigorated me and inspired me and countless people to love Hodags and love the Hodag lore and all the legends that come along with it. And we are so happy to have him involved in our event today and involved in events of the past, carrying on the spirit of the Hodag. But without further ado, I'd like you to please give a big round of applause to Mr. Eugene Simeon Shepard.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather around, come closer. You are about to see an incredible creature, so unbelievable, yet so scary that you may not be able to bear the experience. But not to worry, I have just the solution to boost your resolve, to increase your stamina, to make you just as fortified as you can be to see this creature. Yes, the Hodag, the real live thing is going to be shown here. But Hodag Magic Elixir Water will boost your stamina, will boost your resolve, and will boost your fearlessness. Now, look at me. I used to weigh 350 pounds. I could hardly walk across the room without fainting. And I chased wild women, feebly, but I did chase them. Now, ma'am, you look as though you might be able to use a little boost in the boudoir. Maybe a little more whoop in the whoopee. Perhaps a little more zip in your zippity-doo-dah. Well, one bottle of Hodag Magic Elixir Water, and presto, all will be fine. Smiles will return, confidence will be boosted, and the world will take on a crimson hue. Oh, you look like you could use that, ma'am. That one is on me, and not only that, you will get to see the real black Hodag. You, sir, do you get hobbled up by gout once in a while? Do you have to get up 2 or 3, 4 times a night with prostate problems? You know, that age-old thing that men have? Well, one bottle of Hodag Magic Elixir Water, and you will feel young again. Virile, as though you were in your 20s. And you do look like you could use it, sir. It's on me. Sir, you appear to be follically challenged. This is true. Now I know you tell people that this bald spot is a solar panel for a sex machine.
No.
But wouldn't a full head of hair be better, sir?
Yes.
Look at me. I used to be completely bald. And now, after drinking just one bottle of Hodag Magic Elixir, well, it is coming back. You, sir, deserve one of these bottles on me, and you get to see the real black Hodag.
Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for your purchase of a bottle of Hodag Magic Elixir Water, you too will have all of those amazing health benefits, and you get to see the real black Hodag. Boy, that used to get them. Yep, and it was so much fun. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Gene Shepard. Now, yes, I discovered the Hodag, and I created a story that swirled around it. I did show the Hodag at county fairs and created a myth that swirls around the Hodag for over 120 years. But I did it for 2 basic reasons. One, Rhinelander was a new city. It needed a little boosting. Had to bring around some attention to it. But secondly, a good practical joke, you know, they tickled my fancy. Oh yeah. And this was my greatest prank. But you didn't show up here to be lectured to. No! You came here to be informed in a unique manner. You came here to be funified, for a better word. So let's do it in a unique way. The Hodag's neat. I have, for your listening pleasure, the bodacious, epic Hodag poem. Prepare to be amazed. Prepare to be dazzled. Prepare to be left in wonder. So, on to the poem. Tis the capture of the Hodag that you wish to hear. So gather ye together, come very, very near. 'Twas on a midsummer's day I went for a walk, intent on total silence, no more silly wife talk. On a well-known, well-worn trail I go, the tale now commences. Carefree am I on this stroll when a stench hits my senses. Now the world considered me to be a pretty competent timber cruiser and land surveyor. My services were sought after constantly. Now, for those of you who don't know, a timber cruiser is someone who will literally walk across hundreds of acres of land and come up with an estimate of how many usable board feet are on that tract of land. Even though the state of Wisconsin was selling this property up here, this land up here, for $1.25 an acre, people still wanted to know, at least have an estimate of how many board feet would be on that land. My estimates were so accurate that after everything was logged, all the lumber was processed, I was within 10% accurate. Those estimates were so good, I was asked to timber cruise as far away as California. And when I came back from there, I'd have tens of thousands of dollars in my pocket. Frankly, I was rich. But as happens with a lot of people, poor life choices, poor investments, I lost it all. But my time in the wood was not wasted. Oh no, this is where I discovered the Hodag in the Great McNaughton Swamp. This is where this story evolved. This is where the truth of the Hodag was exposed. But enough of the truth. Back to the poem. We set off with a shovel and a 10-foot.
It fell.
Oh, it fell. You can always plan for the best, but never the weather. The smell, I can assure you, was awful for a mile. It stinks sure to drive a skunk off a right gut pile. I continued down the trail, what is now a bend. With fear I round the corner. Is this to be my end? When what to my wondering eyes did appear but a hideous creature I think I should fear. Looking close from where I stood, my face grew a frown. See where there should be fur, sharp spikes ran on down. Nostrils flared red upon each exhale, and his eyes, they glowed green as he swished his tail. I would spend many nights in lumberjack camps as I was in my timber cruising days, and it was there that I would sharpen my storytelling skills by sitting in the deacon's chair. Now in a lumberjack camp, there were only two things that were for certain. One, the sweat from many, many hard-working men. And worse, the foul smell when they took off their boots in the evening. Now, if you could sit in the deacon's chair and you could spin a story, no matter how crazy it was, no matter how off the wall it was, if you could spin it well, you were welcome. Now, a story like the Hodag, a new story like the Hodag, that was good stuff. Oh, I was ready for the camps. I had a lifetime of pranks behind me. Pranks such as selling perfumed moss as though it was a real natural growing thing only in Wisconsin, when all it was moss with some cheap perfume dumped on it. Or I'd put a bar of soap in my mouth and I'd get it all nice and lathered up. And then when the soap was dribbling out of the sides of my mouth, I'd whirl on people as though I were a rabid dog. Oh, I was ready for the camps all right. But I had to convince the people that the creature was real. With shaking and trembling, I stood with a stare, thinking indeed if the beast saw me, its next fare. I then knew, but can't explain, Hodag was its name. I also knew I must run. This was not a game. I exclaimed as I turned and ran out of sight, "Capture you later I will, though you cause a fright." To town I swiftly went, and my friends I coerce. Let's go capture this creature, soon of war and verse. The location? The Hollow in Rhinelander. Sketchel's Tavern. Late summer evening, 1896. Gather round, folks. I have a tale to tell. There is a creature out there in the swamp that has terrorized our town, eaten our pets, and I fear has a taste for human flesh. Now, I was on my daily walk when there a smell overcame me. Passing the stench off as a passing force phenomenon, I continued on my stroll. Now, as I rounded a bend, there, on a fallen log, was the most horrifying, terrifying black creature I have ever seen. I swear, this creature was so black that its heart was black. I was scared. Some may call it the devil incarnate. So be it. Glowing green eyes, nostrils that flared red whenever it exhaled. Yes, claws that could rip the belly from the biggest beast. And it had horns on the top of its head, all the way down its body, with a fistful of those needle-sharp points adorning its tail. I say, let's capture this beast, and I have a plan to do it. Another round of drinks, please. We must face Satan in whatever form he takes. Tonight, I have seen the shape that he has taken. The image is seared into my brain. My nostrils have breathed of the brimstone and carcasses of the devil incarnate. Lord, I ask you to give these people the strength to face the attacks before them. Lord, give them the courage and the will to capture this beast. Lord, I know you will not let these people down. Can I have an amen? Amen! 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 Now, when we get out in the forest, we're going to dig ourselves a great big deep pit. We're going to disguise it to lure in the Hodag. And with some fresh meat and some daring deeds, it will work. So I ask, who's with me? Who will dare to go and capture this devil incarnate? Who will help slay Satan, the devil, the Hodag? Who will follow me into the great McNaughton swamp? Who, I ask, who dares to risk to rid our town of this devil incarnate? Who will join me? Who, I ask, will join me? Who out there? Come on, who will go? Yes. Oh, yeah. Bring guns. Boy, that was fun. That was a good time. The capture of the Hodag, a tale that will be handed down throughout generations. Each teller putting their own slant to the story, each embellishment adding to the lure of the beast. But let's return to the bodacious poem. Now, the poem is a unique way of base telling. Let's add another unique to it. Who out there will read the bodacious Hodag poem? Who, in a loud, clear voice, and I have cue cards. Yes, I do. I have cards that will help you read the poem. So who out there, in a loud, clear voice, your best ringmaster voice, who will help me read the poem? Who will? You, sir?
Sure. We set off with a shovel and a 10-foot stick, a rag soaked with chloroform put on nice and thick.
You need to face the audience.
I gotta look at the cards too. It is off to McNaughton with tools in our hand to try and get the Hodag roaming this fair land. The shovel digs us a pit, one so nicely deep, in the hope that the Hodag will be ours to keep. With the ease the pit did perform as in the Hodag fell. But how, friends, do we get Hodag from the well?
All right. Of course, man. Shortly, sometime soon, snarling, snapping, slashing sounds, and sour smells slithered up the steep, slimy slopes of the stinking cesspool of stench sunk in the soil. Surmounting the summit, the stupendous sounds and sour smells suddenly swing sideways, slamming our silly senses sillier still. So says stalwart, strong, sturdy, steady, sane shepherd. Succinctly. And so it was that we headed off to the swamp with tools, determination, and the Lord on our side. A captured Hodag, a tale that will be handed down through the generations, each adding their own embellishment, etc. Well, now we have a successful capture of the beast, sitting there in the pit. And according to the tale, the people were standing around, clapping each other on the back, hooting, hollering, basically just making and having a jolly good time. But let us return to the poem. Who this time will help me read in a nice, loud voice so that people can hear it? Who will read with the cue cards this time? Anybody out there want to volunteer to do this? Let's see some hands maybe, huh? How about you? Okay.
Me?
You, yeah.
Oh. The stick in its scented rag, with hair on its nose. The drug soon had its effect, for the Hodag did doze. Back to town we gladly went, with our worthy prize, a creature that's soon to be of great fame and size. With sly cunning and disguise, the creature's kept alive, the better for Rhinelander as it grows and thrives.
Years later, Oneida County Fair. I took great pains in setting up my tent, making it as dark as I could, so that people would have a hard time discerning that the spikes were nothing but cow horns, and that with the help of wires, the Hodag would move, but ever so slightly, that a simple light behind green glass sufficed for the eyes, behind red glass for the fiery red nostrils. And the smell, well, I simply went to a tannery, and they had some of the most god-awful smells you could ever hope to smell. They were so bad that people actually gagged. Oh, I spent a lot of time setting this tent up, but it was well worth it. Hey, say, let's visit the sideshow alley at the Oneida County Fair. Step right up, folks. You are about to see a freak of nature. We'll find it later. A freak of nature, something that God did not intend, but that is here for your personal viewing pleasure. You are about to see the human flamethrower. Yes, so how does he do it? Those are real flames coming out of his mouth, folks. No dragon in medieval history can have anything over this marvel. Step right up, folks. See it for yourselves. Okay, folks, you've seen many shows, many of them on Sideshow Alley, but this is the real thing. This is something that you have never seen before. You are about to see the bearded lady. Step right up. This is the real thing, lady. A real bearded lady. Yeah. Now wait a minute. You're all way too smart to fall for these flim-flam artists. Oh no. You've come here to see the real, authentic, and monster from the antediluvian period of Earth's history. You are here to see the real Black Hodag. Oh, yeah! This is the real thing, folks. Not that sissified green thing you see in front of the Chamber of Commerce. No! This is the one that has horror stories around it. This is the one that the faint of heart with one peep will swoon to the floor. That with a simple view, bolsters, senior citizens that is, will have heart palpitations. And this creature, when the lumberjacks in the woods saw it, the stoutest, strongest lumberjack will run from the woods, howling and crying for his mother's apron. But you are going to see this in complete safety, for the beast has been drugged and chained, and with your purchase, for one thin dime, a bottle of Hodag magic elixir water, cheap at twice the price. I will take care of all your things. You will be fortified, you will be bravified, and you will be able to view the beast with no ill effects. So, let's go into the tent, folks, and let's see the Hodag. Step right up, folks. Okay, here we are. We're in the tent. Right here behind this banner is the real, live Hodag, and I will forthright bring that Hodag out for you to view. Well, it's pretty obvious we can't show the Hodag today. Your safety is first concern. But I have a poem to read. The story of the Hodag grew indeed, going far and wide. So big the story went that all had their own side. The Smithsonian was intrigued by the story they had found. Up a reporter came to see if it was sound. Soon upon his arrival, he sought the real take. Peppering me with questions, I broke. It's fake. So alas, the grand scheme unglued was to grow no more. The Hodag was deemed a myth, as simply Paul wore. But ask all those that have seen Phil Hodags far and wide, you'll receive an answer that will fill you with pride. Because it's plain to see to any with a view that the Hodag has been seen by more than just a few. Now you've heard the story that you came to hear, a story with very long legs, lasting many a year. 'Twas capture of the Hodag that you wish to hear. My thanks for your attention and lending your ear. These few minutes of fun were meant for your stay. So without further ado, I bid you good day.